The following is a Just Green production brought to you by the Might Be News Network.
What's up, everybody? It's the week of January 11th, 2021. My name is Taylor Cooper. This is Might Be Sports. With me, as always, Kevin Reavy. What's up, Reavy?
What's going on? Happy to be here. So much fun. It's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yay!
Wednesday for you guys.
Wednesday.
Tuesday's the worst for me.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Monday's part of my weekend. So it's like Tuesday is like a literal hangover from the weekend.
Tuesday is your Monday.
This is the best time of the year to just enjoy life because, my gosh, it really does feel like it's like a holiday every playoff weekend now. This is great. This is like it's a little piece of Christmas every weekend. So I mean that, and I believe it, and I live it, and I love every game.
Dude, it was it was so crazy because like once you make it past lunchtime, there's a football game on, and there's a football until the end of the night, Saturday and Sunday. It is pretty incredible. And then you think about it too. This week we had the college football national championship as well on Monday night. So it was just like Saturday football, Sunday football, and then national championship Monday. It was a big week for football. We're going to cover all of it. We are sponsored by Eunomia CBD. Go to eunomiacbd.com. Use promo code MBN. Get 20% off, free shipping, and a free gift. Also, make sure you check out mbnnetwork.com. It's so easy to find. It's never been easier for you to find your new favorite podcast. We got playlists in there. If you want to go through and listen to all the episodes of Might Be Sports, that is the place to do it. Go to mbnnetwork.com, click on sports, and you'll be right there to do that. mbnnetwork.com. So last week we talked about Wild Card Weekend and what a crazy weekend it was stacked up to be, and it really didn't disappoint. We'll start with the Ravens-Titans game. The Ravens moving on. They beat the Titans 20-13. Nothing crazy special there. I know that there was a really nice run by Lamar Jackson. I'm happy to see him win a playoff game and move on. They are going to be playing the Bills this coming Saturday. That's the primetime game this coming Saturday. It's going to be Bills-Ravens.
That'll be a good game.
That'll be a really good game.
Because Josh Allen is the better version of Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
I will say Lamar Jackson had the best game of anybody so far. In week one of the playoffs, Lamar Jackson was the king. He played really good. I've criticized him in the past. I will say my criticism before at the very beginning was totally wrong. I totally missed the boat on where the quarterbacks were heading. They're clearly heading in a direction where it's kind of mirroring what they're doing in college. I mean, how often do you see the option when it just didn't exist in the NFL 10 years ago? The option is a big part of the NFL right now. And it's just more of the college game is moving over, and Lamar Jackson, he's able to keep doing what he does. He's not good at throwing the football. And he's even admitted that this year. He said he's not really going to work on it because, guys like Tom Brady have been working on it since they were 2 years old, since they could pick up a football. So he acknowledges that it's too late for him to do that, but he's going to play his game, and he's really damn good at that.
Right.
So, I've written articles on, the short-term success of running quarterbacks. I consider him a running quarterback, whereas a mobile quarterback would be Josh Allen. So I would prefer him to be able to throw the football. But if he's going to be the best, hands down, at running it, and if he can stay healthy, then it's going to work.
Right.
I mean, he just proved it. I mean, he did everything he had to do. People said he couldn't do it in the playoffs. And, with the spotlight on him, and I believe they were down 10-0 in that game. And I was like, oh, no, here we go again.
Right.
And it's so easy to just get killed by that pressure. And he just took the team on his back and just took over.
Yeah.
That's a big win. So we'll see how that game goes. And again, I say Josh Allen is the better version because I just think he's just got that ability to throw the ball. Right. And he runs smart. He's got a big body, so I don't think he's going to get hurt as much. He's kind of like a Big Ben kind of guy. And, this season when Lamar was banged up a bit, his game suffered a little bit.
Right.
But if he's 100% now, shoot, you just got to win 3 more games.
I screwed up. The Ravens and Titans played on Sunday. To go back to the Saturday games, Colts Bills. Obviously, the Bills won since they're playing Baltimore. They won. They beat the Colts 27-24. Colts had a really good season this year. I don't know what they're going to do with Phillip Rivers. I know that they are on the list of places that Carson Wentz could end up. It's going to be interesting to see what the Indianapolis Colts do in this offseason. But they had a really good season this year.
And just real quick on that. I don't want to get too into the weeds on this, but for everyone saying, Carson Wentz's contract, whatever, they paid Phillip Rivers, damn near 40 years old, $25 million this year. So Carson Wentz, whatever team takes him, is going to be on the hook for like somewhere around like 30 million, maybe a little bit less, whatever that is, whatever the number ends up being. And I forget, I would have to go back, but maybe not for next year, but the year after, 30 million, whatever it is. His number was never high to begin with. If Carson Wentz plays like Carson Wentz, you're getting a bargain. Like right now, the market price is around 40 million. So you got Wentz for around 30. You're already paying a 40-year-old Phillip Rivers 25 before that. I mean, what are we talking about? If you believe Carson Wentz can play as well as Phillip Rivers, and I believe he can, he's 27 years old, it's a lateral move. Yeah. I mean, you're really not spending that much money, that much more money.
Frank Wright likes him.
My only point. Again, all the Colts then have to do to switch from Rivers to Wentz is maybe give up a first or second round pick. And people laugh at that. But the Vikings gave up a first round pick for Sam Bradford 5 years ago. This happens all the time. When a team is ready to win now and they need a quarterback now, they're desperate. They'll give up a lot.
Yeah.
So just to put a point on that, we'll see how that works out with the Colts.
Next game on Saturday was the Rams over the Seahawks, which neither one of us saw coming. They won by 10, 30-20. That was a good game, I guess. I don't know what to expect from the Rams moving forward because I wasn't expecting them to win that game.
Their defense. I didn't expect their defense to be that insane. I haven't watched that many Rams games this year, and I think it's a little bit like a West Coast thing, and a lot of their games might be 4:00. It's a little bit difficult to pay attention to that, especially when there's a weird thing going on with the Eagles this year, where I think their last 7 or 8 games of the season were 4:00 or later. So I'm obviously, tunnel vision on the Eagles, paying attention to that. And I kind of missed watching a lot of the Rams games live. So it was a little difficult to really get a good grasp for how good their defense is. And watching them play from start to finish, holy crap, they're really, really good on defense. And it might not matter who they put a quarterback. The Rams, they might have a shot at this.
Right.
Now, Goff, I don't know. He's got a hurt thumb. One more week of rest. See if that helps him at all. But again, if they could figure something out and just score 17 points, I think that might be enough, no matter who they play.
Yeah. The game after that on Saturday, the final game on Saturday was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Washington Football Team. The Buccaneers won that 31-23. So Tom Brady moving on in the playoffs, like everybody pretty much assumed that he would. That brings us to Sunday. We already talked about the Ravens and Titans. A real snoozer over on, I think it was on Nickelodeon, the Saints versus the Bears. The Saints mopped it up 21-9. Mitch Trubisky, I think, is done. His season's done, or his contract is up. That's another potential spot for Carson Wentz.
Now, was that game on Nickelodeon?
I think it was dual cast. It was somewhere else, but then I think it was dual cast on Nickelodeon, I believe. Whatever. If it was on CBS, I think CBS owns Nickelodeon, so they.
Because I remember watching it, but I only remember watching it, if that makes any sense. It was a long day.
Yeah.
I'd had quite a bit to drink at that point.
Right.
But I kind of remember watching it, and I think the Bears were in it a little bit for a short period of time.
Right.
And then I was talking about this yesterday with some people. what was the end score? Like 19-3? Like the Bears scored 3 points or something? It wasn't,
21-9 was
21
the final.
9.
Yeah, it was
All
the final. So 3
yeah,
field goals.
Enough. Yeah, you know what? I think they scored a touchdown late to make it 9. And there's that rule where you don't kick the extra point if it doesn't make a difference in the game. So it would have been like 21-3.
Okay.
They didn't have that garbage time touchdown.
Yeah, I didn't watch
So
it.
my thing is just like the Saints didn't look that impressive. And I'm not that impressed with the Saints overall.
Right.
The Bears have a pretty decent defense, but I mean, I don't know. So who are the Saints playing next?
They're playing Tampa Bay next.
They play Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay is a tough one to nail down.
Yeah.
They looked okay. I guess that game was tied at one point. They had a chance. Washington had a chance to tie the game with a 2-point conversion, I believe, in like the third quarter or whatever it was, third or fourth quarter in that game. So if they're not really putting away Washington. I don't know what they're going to do against the Saints, and you got a 40-something-year-old Brady, 40-something-year-old Breeze.
Yeah.
It's going to be really interesting to see what happens there. I wish it wasn't those two teams playing each other, because that's those two teams I do not have a strong grasp on. Almost any other team, I would take the Saints to lose. But I'm just as skeptical of Tampa Bay. So I guess when it's those two, you got to go with Brady, because he threw for 380 some yards, 2 or 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He just delivers in the playoffs. So I guess it's going to be Bucks in that one, but I don't know. I definitely do not like the Saints to move on. Maybe one more week, but that's it.
Yeah, I have them beaten. I think they're going to beat the Bucks. That's me. I'm picking them. The final game of Wild Card Weekend, though, was the Browns versus Steelers. In a staggering upset, the Browns defeated the Steelers 48-37. It was ugly all the way. I don't even know. I stopped watching it. I forget what the score was, but it was nowhere near. The Steelers had nowhere near 37 points, so that was all garbage time points by the sounds of it. I don't know, but
kind of for the most part. Yeah, it wasn't as close as that score would have you believe. Not sure where they got that last score from, but it was certainly garbage time.
Yeah.
They were it was pretty much over with, I think there was a Roethlisberger interception, I think, with just a few minutes left on the clock. So I don't know how they scored that last one, but it wasn't as close as the score would lead you to believe. Of course, they were down 28-0 at one point. But the X factor of the Browns, I mean, forget Baker, obviously they don't have Odell right now, but their receiving core and all that. I think it's Kareem Hunt. That guy can flat out play. And that's who I saw as the difference maker. Nick Chubb, great running back, but Kareem Hunt can do it all. He's their Swiss Army knife out there.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of guy that teams love to have, that they can do a bunch of stuff with. I think Tampa Bay has that a little bit with Antonio Brown right now. And they're they could be sneaky good if, Tom Brady and Antonio Brown are kind of getting in their stride right now. That could be scary, how good that team can be on offense. So we'll see how that goes moving forward. But Kareem Hunt is the guy. And it's not, like I said last week, I think you can shut down running backs in the playoffs. And I said this about, Derrick Henry. That's why I didn't believe in the Titans. It's exactly what they did. I think he rushed for less than 3 yards a carry. Whatever it is, you can't count on the running back. You have to count on the quarterback that has the ball in his hands every single snap. So next to him, besides the quarterback, I want the guy that's going to run the ball and catch the ball and maybe return punts, kick returns and all that. And that's Kareem Hunt. I mean, he can literally do it all. So, man, that was a great pickup. And I wondered how it was going to work out after, unceremonious departure from Kansas City. And they already had a running back in Chubb. And you wonder, when you just keep adding guys, how that meshes with the locker room. But now I think he's their number one guy.
Yeah.
And he's really, really dangerous. And I'm rooting for the Browns. It's fun to watch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it's going to be – that was a really good weekend of football, and this weekend isn't going to be any worse. On Saturday, we have at 4 o'clock, it's the Rams versus the Packers. That's going to be a really good game. But I'm picking the Packers. Picking the Packers in it. I don't have faith in the Rams the same way that I have faith in the normal consistency of the Packers. They've had a really good year this year, so I think they're going to move on. What do you think?
I wonder if maybe, like I just said, maybe the Rams defense, what do I know? Again, I only looked at the stats for the most part, didn't watch the Rams play a lot live this year. So I'm judging this up basically off of one game. So I'm probably overstating it, but what if they go on some sort of, 2003 Panthers run where it just doesn't matter who the quarterback is? They had Jake Delhomme back then. And if you got a one-handed quarterback, guy with a, bum thumb, it might not matter if the Rams are that good on defense. And Aaron Rodgers isn't who he used to be.
Right.
We talked about that last week. He's averaging something like 230 some passing yards per game. It's a little bit smoke and mirrors. It's not what he used to be. I mean, he threw for 48 touchdowns, something along those lines. Like, it's a massive number. But, Lamar Jackson threw for 50, and he's got the worst form of any quarterback in the league. So, I mean, context matters. Like, he's throwing for touchdowns, but it's not the same way he used to. He's not throwing for as many yards. They're being creative on offense. It's a little bit different. So I wonder if it's going to be super cold. He's an older guy, even though he plays in Green Bay. I mean, I saw Brett Favre at the age of 40 just get frozen and die in the playoffs against the Giants.
Yeah.
It happens. I don't care where your home games are. If you're pushing 40, the cold hits you harder.
Yeah.
So I wonder, when the cold's hitting him hard and the Rams are hitting him hard, what's going to happen? And I think it could be a lot closer than people may realize.
Next, we kind of talked about the Ravens versus the Bills a little bit. I'm picking the Bills. I'm picking the Bills in this game.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's why I say all the time, like, I'm not married to my opinions. Like, I can change them all the time. I thought last week Lamar Jackson was probably going to do what he always does, and they'll solve him, and he's done. Now I wonder if this is kind of, his statement. Like, he's here to stay.
Yeah. And
they're a tough team when he's on. So I don't know if anybody can stop the Ravens. I don't know. I love the Bills, but Lamar Jackson was the best player on the field last week. And until he's not that, I got to go Ravens.
That game's on that's the primetime game on Saturday. The 3 o'clock game on Sunday, Browns versus Chiefs. I'm going Chiefs all day. All day.
Yeah, they're the team version of Lamar Jackson, where it was like you wondered, can the Chiefs ever get it done? Can Andy Reid get it done? And then last year they got it done. They blew everyone away all the way through the Super Bowl, done and done. So until they falter, they're the champs. They're still the best team in the NFL, stat-wise and all that. But, any given Sunday, so much talent on the other side. You never know. Cinderella story, but you'd be foolish to not pick the Chiefs.
Chiefs. 6:40 on Sunday is the Bucks versus the Saints, which we already talked about. I'm going Saints in that. But
I got to go Bucks because, like I said, I just feel like Antonio Brown, they're being really creative with him, and he's running the ball. They're playing him all over the field, long bombs, short over the middle. I like what they're doing with him. So I think he could be the difference maker there, especially if they're really gelling now at the right time.
So I want to talk a little bit. There's a major Eagles offseason news already, and the big story here in Philadelphia is the termination of Doug Peterson after 5 seasons, a Super Bowl ring, obviously, the city's first Super Bowl. They fired him on Monday. ending a partnership that delivered the first and only Super Bowl to the city. Peterson was expected to remain as coach despite a 4-11-1 finish, but multiple meetings with team owner Jeffrey Lurie over the past week left his boss unconvinced that Peterson had a sound vision for how to address the myriad of issues facing the team. So a lot of interesting things to kind of unpack here. Questions that we don't have answers to. First thing, they apparently brought in the defensive coordinator, I don't remember his name, of the San Francisco 49ers to interview. I don't know who else they're talking about bringing in. I haven't really kept up with it, to be honest. However,
it's day one or day two when this comes out.
Yeah.
It's extremely early in the process.
So, but this opens up a few questions that I wanted to ask you. So, all season we've all kind of had this, certainly on this show, you and I have been pretty much in agreement that Jalen Hurts is the next quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles. He came in 3/4 of the way through the season, did a pretty damn good job for a rookie with really less than par teammates around him. And we all kind of had this assumption that they're going to trade Wentz and Jalen Hurts and Doug Peterson. The new era is born here in Philadelphia. Now that Doug Peterson is gone, does that change the plan? Does that tell us that they're going to keep Carson and find Carson a quarterback or a new coach? Or do you think they're going to start all over again? Like
what people are talking about now, what I want to set straight, what people are talking about now is there's an argument out there along the lines of the team doesn't want to eat $30+ million of dead salary for Carson Wentz. So if Doug Peterson doesn't want to coach Wentz anymore, people are saying, well, that's clear that the team doesn't want to just eat $30 million in cash. What I want to set straight is people have to stop talking like this. The money is spent. The money was spent when the ink dried, before the ink dried on that contract. It was spent. It's done. There's almost nothing you can do short of a crazy restructure. There's no incentive for Wentz to do that at all whatsoever. Yeah. The money is spent.
Right.
So what I want to get through people's minds is stop thinking of it like it's Doug Peterson or you trade Wentz and you're eating all this money. The money's already been eaten. It's on the books. It's done. The legitimate argument is Carson Wentz or Jalen Hurts. Now, that's fine. Maybe they fired Doug Peterson because he wanted to start Hurts. And maybe the team owner and the GM disagreed. That's fine. The money has nothing to do with it. It's already spent. It's over. So my argument was, I've seen both quarterbacks play. Like we talked about, I see the trends in the NFL going towards a player like Hurts. So why would I take the quarterback who played worse? I got the guy coming in who's a prototype of the style quarterback you want in the NFL.
Doug Peterson's
the guy who just won the Super Bowl. Prototype of the guy who just won the MVP last year. So why would I basically take a step back with Wentz?
Yeah.
Now, again, the money's spent. So my plan would be keep Hurts, trade Wentz. Yeah, you eat all that money. You were going to eat it if you had him or you don't.
Yeah.
But get a draft pick in return, and I believe it would be a first-round pick. So I think most likely Doug Peterson kind of had the same idea, and they just don't want to trade Wentz. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's what they want to put out into the world. And if teams think they want to keep Wentz, maybe that raises his trade stock. Because if teams think that the Eagles believe in Wentz that much over Hurts, that it's going to be that much more difficult to get him, make him that much more valuable to trade for. Or maybe Hurts is a trade commodity. I think he's the kind of guy who could bring a first-round pick. Right. Because, the fact of the matter is he was just a second-round pick last year. All he did was play into first-round territory this year, as far as I'm concerned. I think he played better than Tua, and Tua was a top 10 pick. So all that being said, it's going to be impossible to tell what they're going to do until like things really get moving into the offseason. And then it's going to become clear. I think it's a little bit of a disaster if they go with Wentz and Hurts, if only because you're rolling the dice big time. You get rid of Hurts now, you got to pay him that $30 million, but he's off the books entirely in 2022. If you keep him one more year, it all rolls over. You have the same problem next offseason, and you still have Hurts. And if Wentz plays poorly, now you can't trade him. Now you're stuck with him.
Yeah.
To me, it seems pretty clear with the upside, but it's hard when there are massive Wentz fans here, and they can't get past that. I was a massive Wentz fan, but I can see the numbers. I can see the math, and the board says trade Wentz, but nobody is on my side, and I don't get it. But
I'm on your side.
There's a massive love affair with that guy.
I'm on your
and
side.
I think it clouds everyone's judgment.
Yeah, no, I think they got to move on, and I think it's for the better. It's for everybody's benefit, really, including Wentz. And I think it was a stupid contract to begin with. The Eagles deserve to eat that, and it's going to be interesting to see what they do with it. But I want to get into Go to the Week because I have a little bit of a rant to go with it.
Might Be Sports presents the greatest of all time
Of the week. All right, my clear-cut Go to the Week this week isn't just a person. It is a team, the Alabama Crimson Tide, the national champions again. They smashed Ohio State 52-24. If I had to pick one person, it'd be really tough to pick between Nick Saban and Mac Jones. Mac Jones, just for the record, went 36 and 45, 464 yards, 5 passing touchdowns. It's just, he was incredible to watch on Monday night. Great team, and you just got to love how Nick Saban puts these teams together. They just smash the competition. And people can talk shit on the SEC, whatever. I love watching that style of football, that run-heavy offense, just crush-heavy defense. It's just a lot of fun to watch. But my rant has to do with the travesty of even having Ohio State in the mix for the playoff. They only played 8 games. They were 7-1 this season. Alabama, for the record, was 13-0. I don't understand. And if it has anything to do with COVID, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. If they had to reschedule a game, if they had to cancel games, obviously they didn't reschedule the games because they didn't play 13 games. They only played 8, and they lost one of them. How they made it in the top 4 teams in the nation,
That's fair.
is trash to me. It is trash to me. And if they don't have 6 teams, at least 6 teams in the college playoff like next year, they're fucking up over there at the NCAA. I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of them playing. It was a travesty that Notre Dame was in the fucking thing. Pick better fucking teams. Pick new fucking teams. Put the best fucking teams in there. Not the best on paper. Not the best in your opinion. Put the best fucking teams out there, you stupid sons of bitches. I'm sick of it. As soon as I saw Ohio State was in the fucking mix, as soon as I saw that Notre Dame was in the fucking mix, I had a fucking conniption fit. This shit is bullshit. You should be ashamed of yourself. And because of this trash, you got a fucking terrible national championship. I hope you're fucking happy, NCAA. A blowout for the national championship. Way to fucking go. Anyway.
Taylor, the language. What would your grandmother say?
I'm so sick of it, dude. God, dude, they played 8 games.
Words. Could you ease up a little bit? Oh, my aching heart here.
My neighbors are probably like, "Oh my God, he's so mad."
Well, I've been saying it for years. One of the biggest travesties in the history of sports, I was going to say professional sports, which college football might as well be. One of the biggest travesties is they totally jobbed college football fans and swindled everyone into thinking that they created a playoff system. No, if you have a 14 playoff, that's not a playoff.
No.
I mean, statistically speaking, the majority of the time, it's going to end up how it would anyway without a playoff.
It is not a playoff if the teams that play in it have to be voted on by a committee. It is not a playoff. That's
I'm fine with
ridiculous.
that, but they need to expand it.
They have to.
I don't have the stats on it, but I'll come back. We'll talk about it next week when we have more time, because I love this idea. If it ends up seed 1 against seed 2 and it's a 4-team playoff, that means there was no playoff. I mean, it just they played meaningless games to get to the point that it would be if there was no playoff. So the discussion, the debate was decades long, and they came up with a 4-team playoff, and the public just ate it up, and they're back there saying, shit, that actually worked.
Yeah.
They fell for it.
Yeah.
So we get to make more money, and we still get to have these bowl games that I think mean nothing. These, 3rd, 4th, and 5th place bowls that are total garbage. That's insane. It needs to be at least 8 teams, and then you just have the bowls circulate as part of it. March Madness is amazing. You could have these, Rose Bowls, Tostitos, Fiesta Bowls, just be part of the Elite 8, the Final 4, the last game, and it just cycles through each time. You could do 16 teams. It would be incredibly entertaining. The Orange Bowl would be something I'd be interested in watching all of a sudden, because it would be part of that system. So, yeah, I totally am on board with you there. Besides you being completely wrong about Notre Dame, they're the best team in college football, and they just had a bad day. Anyway, my go to the week is Tyrese Maxey, the rookie guard for the 76ers, scored. The team was. I promise we're going to talk more basketball next week. We ran out of time. There's just too much going on in football right now. Doug Peterson got fired through every plan we had into the shitter. But
right.
Yeah, Maxey. When there was they had 8 guys to play the other night against, I believe, was Denver. They lost to Denver, but Maxey scored 39 points, most by a Sixers rookie since Allen Iverson. This guy looks like the real deal. When they drafted him this year, he the 21st pick, everyone said it was the steal of the draft because he's a pure scorer. So it looks like he could be that guy. You watch him play, and it's just, I don't know what it is. James Harden is kind of like that. Like Maxey, he's not as smooth as Allen Iverson when he plays. Allen Iverson had a smoothness to him. He just glided down the court. Maxey isn't quite that way. He's a little bit upright. He's sneaky fast. I think he's got a little bit of James Harden in him. So he might not be a sharpshooter. He might not, shoot 40% from 3, but he's going to be that James Harden type.
Yeah.
Maybe the poor man's James Harden. I'm not saying he's going to be, the MVP of the league.
Right.
Soon.
Yeah.
But gotta love what that dude's doing. Followed up the 39-point game with 15. That might be enough for the Sixers to say, hey, we got a trade commodity with Ben Simmons. If Maxey's doing what he's doing, good enough for me. Let's see what we can get for Ben. And speaking of James Harden, maybe he comes back in return.
We'll see. I'm on the keep Ben camp, but that's me. I can't wait to talk more basketball with you in the very, very near future. Kevin Reavy, thank you so much for being on here tonight, man. I appreciate it.
Love you, man.
Love you too, bro. Hey, everybody, you know me as CBD. Go to youknowmeascbd.com. Use promo code MBN. Get 20% off and a free gift. MBNnetwork.com. It's never been easier for you to find your new favorite podcast. Everybody, peace out. I hope your favorite team wins this weekend, unless it's the Ravens, the Bucks, or I forget who else. Oh, whoever the Packers are playing. We'll see you guys next time.